Hey y'all, this is Future Me speaking. Okay, so while I was doing my getting stuff done journey, I came up with the idea for a no waste kitchen where everything that comes through the kitchen is used, frozen, canned, or prepped in some manner that allows the items to be used and not go to waste to reduce, throwing away food and stuff like that. And what I've learned to do is to plan my meals so that items used for one meal can be used by another meal the next day or within a couple of days until it's all gone. So I'm kind of rolling over items from meal to meal. Leftovers can become frozen ready meals for days when cooking may not be convenient. Fresh fruits and vegetables are used in recipes. They're dehydrated or frozen, because those things kind of go bad really quickly. But if you go ahead and process them, you can use them longer through a storage process that will last. So in this series, I'll show you what I've learned to do, and I hope that it helps you too. Reducing food waste helps you to reduce your grocery bill, and it helps to reduce food insecurity. So that means that you're able to more effectively feed your family and save money. So guys, let's jump right into this. Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Fabulosity, and I am back on week 3 of my Getting Things Done challenge today. I will tell you that during week 3, I did some stuff that I didn't film, and I'll just kind of go over it with you guys a little bit later. But because for the sake of time, effort, and energy, I just wanted to go ahead and really get some stuff caught up. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing and helping me grow my YouTube channel so that I can share many more wonderful things with you. If you are a long-time subscriber, I'm so glad that you have stuck by me because this is a growing process for me doing YouTube, and it's not something that I'm really accustomed to doing, you guys. So today, I'm going to take the home edit boxes that I got at Walmart. They're in the video with a picture of Khloe Kardashian, and I'm going to be putting them in the indoor freezer. Let me show you. Okay. So I'm going to be using those to put in the freezer and organize the freezer, and they might end up downstairs in my deep freezer, but for now my freezer is kind of cluttered and chaotic, and I need to bring order to the chaos. So I'm gonna dig in and get some stuff put together in the freezer. Okay, so as you can see, the bark was worse than the bite in the freezer, and I know it looks like the freezer, all the space is taken up, but this allows me to go to a particular bin to get what I want, like frozen cheeses, sliced, shredded, cookie dough morsels, and there's some cookie dough in the bag. Thank you, Nestle. Some lunch meat and wieners because they were just kind of thrown everywhere. So now they're in the tote. Now and I did a video on these tech ice packs before. They can be cold, they can be hot. I tend to use them for cold things when I'm traveling or when I'm going to the grocery store and I know that I'm going to be buying lots of meat or ice cream. It's quite hot in Texas, so these actually keep the food at 32 degrees or below, and it keeps it fresh until I can get it home. So I put them in a thermal grocery bag made for cold things, and they work. Okay, so I went ahead and rebagged the okra, yeast roll dough, mushrooms, the corn. If I might just cook this corn as a treat for the dogs this weekend. Now I do like to stack the waffles like this. Y'all forgive my injury on my hand. It was a pretty bad chemical burn. So I do like to stand them up like this. Some of them I couldn't really get to stand, but when I stand them up like this versus horizontally, they hang at the bottom, and sometimes they keep the door from closing all the way. So if they're standing up, then they are less likely to do that. So this is what the freezer looks like right now. Look at this cute rainbow of eggs that my daughter's co-worker gave her from his family farm. They are so cute, but they are smaller than the other eggs that I normally buy. So these eggs I will probably use for like omelets or scrambled eggs or something like that, because the large eggs tend to be required for recipes. So I just thought I'd share these because they are so cute. When you're storing eggs, you want to store them upside down with the round part at the top, not this part, but the round part at the top. Okay guys, you see on my Eggland's Best eggs, they have a stamp on the top, and the oval part is on the bottom. This is to remind you to store your eggs top heavy. Idea to put them in this type of container. It will stop the eggs from getting frozen, and if somebody puts something in there on top of the eggs, they won't get all crushed up, because this is waste and we want to prevent the wasting of. Okay, so the first one that we're going to do is a 2-pound bag of carrots that I snagged at Kroger for $2.29. So can you imagine how much money I'm going to save by prepping this bag of carrots for the long term versus buying them? Okay, and now I'm just going to grate off some of the hard exterior of the carrots because I want these ready to cook. Okay, so the tools that we'll be using for this are a cookie sheet with paper towels on the top, a skimmer to scoop the hot veggies and stuff like that out of the hot water, a colander with a bowl underneath so that the water can drain out, some cold water. I actually froze water in a bag to make a pack of ice to keep the water cold, and a large pot with hot boiling water that we're going to be using to blanch the food before we cool it down and prep it for long-term storage. Okay, so once we heat it up, we're going to drop it into the cold water, and from the cold water we're going to put it into the colander, let all the water drain out of it as much as we can. We're going to scoop that up and we're going to lay it separately on the cookie sheet with the paper towels. We want them separated so that they're not stuck together when they go in the freezer, and they won't be stuck together when they come out of the freezer. So we're going to have these giant chunks of carrots that we boil for 10 minutes. Then we cool for a few minutes. Okay, so this water is boiling, so we know that it's hot, and I'm just going to put all the carrots in the water and let it blanch for 10 minutes. For 10 minutes. Okay, so my blanching time is almost coming to a close. One of the reasons that you want to blanch your carrots in hot water before you freeze them is so that they can keep the integrity of the carrots. They keep most of their nutrients, they keep most of their color, and they keep their texture. So we're getting ready to take them out, and we're going to be putting them over here in our bowl of cold water, and my ice is starting to melt. But I made 2 of these. Okay, so the timer is going off, and I'm just going to take my skimmer, let some of the hot water drain out, and put them in cold water to stop the cooking process. Now, since I'm doing carrots from the same batch, I don't really feel the need to change the water, but if I was doing 2 different bags, or if I was doing different vegetables, then I would change my water for each vegetable. Okay, so I'm going to finish skimming these and I'll be back. Okay, so these are going to sit in cold water for 5 minutes. So I'm setting the timer here. And now for my diced and shredded carrots, I'm going to be adding 6 whole carrots to the boiling pot. And y'all, I meant to let this start boiling again, but it's okay. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna let them cook for another 10 minutes. Okay, so the 5 minutes are up, and I'm gonna go ahead and take these out of the cold water, put them in the colander to drain, and in a few minutes, the next batch will be ready to be cooled. Okay, so I added my second ice bag to the cooling water so they can go ahead and get down to a really cold temperature. And we're just gonna let these drain before we put them on the paper towels. From the water over to the cooling station. And I should have been chopping these fries up, but I didn't. So I'll be back after I chop them up. Okay, so the carrot fries are going to blanch for 10 minutes. And let me just say that, again, these are great for on the go with your kids. If they're in the freezer and they're cold and you have a teething infant who's old enough to hold it, they can kind of, bite on a little bit to soothe their discomfort. Just make sure you're watching so that they don't choke. So now I'm going to remove these from the cold water and let them drain, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to dice them up. Okay, so I put my carrot fries on top of my carrot chunks and separated them with some wax paper, and I have my diced carrots in little muffin tins. This way when they freeze together you can take them out more easily, and they'll separate faster, but also if you don't want to use all of them, you want to just use some, they'll be frozen into little chunks. Okay, so the carrots are in the freezer, and they will be in the freezer for about 2 hours. Okay, so the carrots that we blanched and froze yesterday, you only need to leave them in the freezer for about 2 hours, but I got busy yesterday, so I just took them out this morning. So these are the diced carrots that I'm going to be putting in a bag. So you can kind of see that they're frozen. And then my carrot fries are frozen on top of my carrot rounds. So let's get started. Okay, so while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and start peeling my sweet potatoes. I do like to peel off the white, skin or membrane that's underneath the main layer, so that I can just see the meat. And I don't really like the canned yams that come at the store. I haven't liked them since I was a kid. They're so sugary. But I have 2 left, and instead of them going to waste, I'm going to do the same thing to these as I did to the carrots, and then I'm going to freeze them. And if I just want to make a light bowl of sweet potatoes or mashed sweet potatoes, I can just throw these in there and keep it moving, right? Without having to go back to the store. Okay, so I've moved the last batch. So I used my scallop knife to cut my sweet potatoes into rounds. So in case I want to fry them up and make me some waffle sweet potato fries or something like that, they have a little textured look to them. So once I'm done with the carrots, we will change this out and get started.